story first covered by our partners at Investigative Post. Right now, the majority of African Americans who live in Buffalo do not own their own home. They rent. The number hasn't changed in 3 decades, despite efforts to improve black home ownership. Ijaz has more now on why that number isn't changing.
Look around and you'll see that this isn't a typical East Side neighborhood. Sycamore Village was built about 15 years ago as an experiment. Promote home ownership by building upscale housing. It worked. 15 of 16 original home buyers still live here. This small subdivision is an anomaly, however. The number of black homeowners like those in Sycamore Village has barely budged since the 1980s. 1 in 3 blacks living in the city own the house they live in. 4 decades later, it's still 1 in 3. Whites in the city are more than twice as likely to own their own home. Keith Barnes has been selling real estate on the East Side and beyond for over 30 years.
Black home ownership is still not at the level that we wish it to be.
Experts we spoke with said poverty has a lot to do with it. Household incomes among black residents is a little more than half that of whites in the city. Barnes sees other factors at play. Many prospective homebuyers feel the neighborhoods are safer and the schools are better in the suburbs.
A lot of people feel that the suburban market offers a better schooling systems than the city market does.
There's also a lack of attractive inventory. Investors are snapping up a lot of properties.
To combat the overall problem, we have to increase the supply, and that's where the city can step in and restart their program for affordable housing and new construction.
The city, during the previous mayors Jimmy Griffin and Tony Masiello, subsidized the construction of more than 1,500 houses. Those programs have ended, and Barnes said City Hall needs to get back in the game.
We have a history of starting programs and them working, but then we stop. Now, a lot of that is funding sources, but at the same time, we should just keep going, keep pushing it. And I think over that time, we can definitely start seeing the increases that we all want to see.
So joining us now is Ijaz from Investigative Post. Have there been any increases over the past 30 years? I mean, that's a long time for that number to just stay flat.
Yes, so Kelly, in the county, yes. In the city, not so much, and that's the unfortunate part. Now, what we're seeing, and these trends can't necessarily be confirmed, but it seems as though the outward migration of African Americans from Buffalo are going into our inner ring suburbs, which is something I'll be exploring in yet another story on the topic. But unfortunately, we can't quite track where they're going. But there are a number of factors as to why we're still seeing the stagnancy that we've been seeing for 30 years now within the city.
One of those things you brought up in your story was the lack of inventory. And recently, we've seen a lot of houses, they go on the market, they sell right away, or investors snap them up because they can pay all cash. So what are you seeing inventory-wise?
So inventory-wise, and this is something that really interested me that I learned from Barnes, it seems like both locally and nationally, there's been a trend, especially in predominantly black neighborhoods, of those properties being snapped up by investors because they are valued at lower prices, either because they're not up to quality or because they're undervalued. You know, we've seen a lot of reports within the nation over the past few years about appraisal discrimination. And realtors I've spoken with said they don't know of one black appraiser in Western New York. So that's one of the issues. So unfortunately, we're seeing that the homes that people want to buy within the city just aren't available, even though not everyone wants to leave the city.
All right, Ijaz, thank you for sharing that story with us tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.